on my show, we have been trying to help answer that one question that does come up basically every presidential campaign.
Remember Ronald Reagan talking about Jimmy Carter?
Ronald Reagan used to ask,
are you better off?
Are you better off?
Are you better off?
Are you better off?
But are we better off?
It's not whether we're better off, it's whether they're better off.
Are you better off?
Better off.
Better off.
better off?
Better off. Better off.
Better off.
Better off.
Better off.
Better off.
Than you were 4 years ago.
Now, it does come up every time, but as I've said, if you're the Trump campaign, maybe you don't want to ask it this time around, right? We were all there because 4 years ago was June 2020, and this is what it looked like.
Tonight, we have passed yet another milestone in this country, as today the number of coronavirus cases topped 2.5 million. That includes more than 125,000 deaths. And tonight, much of the focus is on the southern and southwestern states where cases are mounting.
We did so well before the plague, and we're doing so well after the plague.
Now, this video obtained by the Washington Post raising questions. The Trump campaign asked why workers were appearing to remove stickers promoting social distancing. This one reading, "Do not sit here, please." ABC News confirming the Post report that the campaign directed those stickers to be taken down. A campaign official says the rally was in full compliance with local requirements. Those attending entering the arena at their own risk, signing a waiver agreeing not to sue the campaign if they get sick.
It was 4 years ago today, that story broke. The Trump campaign took those stickers off the seats. And it was significant because, remember, that was Trump's infamous rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, exactly 1 week earlier, the big back to the campaign rally, the one that everyone told him not to do because it would be a massive disaster.
For months now, large gatherings have been canceled. No concerts, no stadiums filled for sporting events. But tonight in Tulsa, Oklahoma, an arena is packed with thousands rallying for President Trump's re-election.
The president left Washington late today for a destination he has not seen in 110 days, the campaign trail.
The event in Oklahoma is unbelievable. The crowds are unbelievable.
My preference would be that it be postponed until it's safe to actually have an event where people can come together and be a part of the political process.
Today, we learned 6 members of the president's advance team tested positive for coronavirus.
They will be given a mask. It's up to them whether to make that decision. CDC guidelines are recommended but not required. When you come to the rally, as if any event, you assume a personal risk. That is just what you do.
Of course, we now know Trump supporters were intentionally misled about that risk. One of those supporters was Herman Cain, the former Godfather's Pizza CEO, former Republican presidential candidate. That's him at the rally there on the left without a mask, not social distancing. Everyone's packed together. A week later, Herman Cain was in the hospital with COVID. He was there for a month, and he died on July 30th. Years later, Trump aide Cassidy Hutchinson wrote in her book that White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told her, quote, "We killed Herman Cain." Trump's tragic and catastrophic handling of that once-in-a-century pandemic, the plague, was the defining characteristic of 4 years ago, although I think we've all kind of blocked it out a little bit. But also, 4 years ago today, the stock market was at 25,000. Today, it's at nearly 40,000. 4 years ago, the unemployment rate was at 11%. It's 4% today. 4 years ago was a summer of widespread unrest and then vigilante violence when Kyle Rittenhouse killed 2 protesters, when the sitting president used tear gas on civil rights demonstrators to clear the streets for that Bible photo op, when he floated delaying the election because he was losing in the polls, when he sprung Roger Stone from prison so he could help with the efforts to steal said election. The country was in crisis every minute, palpable, life-altering crisis, day after day on multiple fronts. Our nervous systems were being constantly overwhelmed. So, yeah, ask yourself, take a second, remember, are you better off today than during the summer of chaos and despair 4 years ago?
Wow.
I think the answer is pretty clear, Rachel.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.